was the organist and the secretary at this Baptist church for 40 years. So I pretty much, like, from the time I was born to the first 20 years of my life, I'm literally there multiple times a week. Even when it's not church, I'm in church. I mean, there was a lot of times during the summer, we didn't live far from the church. I would literally ride my bike to church. She's working. I would literally go ride my bike to church and play in the gym all day. I mean, it was during the summer, it was probably 6 days a week I was at church. And the last 10 years I was there, it went from like 100 and something people in the congregation to like 20. And literally everybody's 60, 70 years old. We went from having 30 people in the youth group to me in 10 years. It never grew. And it was the same thing that kind of what was talked about the other day in church, where this place ended up being like a place for pastors to retire. That's the same thing happened every 2 or 3 years. You get a new pastor and he's 70 years old. Nothing against that. Just, it never got any life back into the church. So it just, well, Mom started getting where she couldn't really go all the time anymore. She had to pull back from working and all that. I just kind of did the same thing. Just had no reason to go back. Lost interest. Had no push from nobody or nothing. I said there was no, I had a couple of friends that, like I said, went to other churches, but it just didn't feel right. I never had any problems with nobody. There was just older church. Just didn't have no life left for us young kids and younger people. So that's kind of why I got married at 21 and got my own place at 21. It just spread apart from the church. And it's been a lot of struggles. Like, from the time I left the church, that was probably 20 years old, 21. About 21 till when we joined the church. I hadn't been to church one time. Yeah, one time. I don't know, I can't remember exactly what happened, but I don't know if my wife got word of what was going on here, or if it was Kennan's daughter, because my son and Kennan's daughter ride the same bus. I don't know if she, hey, why don't y'all come here or whatever, but I think that's what happened. It sparked an interest for him for sure, and then my wife decided, well, he wants to go. Let's take him. Well, I wasn't hesitant, but I was busy, which is, again, not the right decision. But I do work every other Sunday right now, so it's hard to come here. Like, I'm late the other Sundays, but it's like, y'all go and just see how it is. I just don't know about church again, because it's just, Blackwater has been around 100-something years. It's like, man, that's another older church. I just don't know. Just y'all go check it out, whatever. Just when Regan comes back, it's like, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. I'm like, all right, I'll go. And then met Kenan. I don't remember if I met Kenan before we came or right after, but I'm like, I think we met him before, and I was like, this is the pastor of this church. I probably need to go at least check it out. And it didn't take the traditional service is what I grew up in. And I'm like, okay, I kind of feel that. My wife's like, wait till you go to table service. I'm like, we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure if I want to do that, but we went to table service. I'm like, this is exactly what I want to do. This is exactly where I want to be at. I'm getting everything I need out of it, but I feel like it's for me. So, and then when we did the 11 o'clock service, I'm like, this is kind of interesting. Now, I've never been to a church where I stay there for 3 hours. When you go to Sunday school and then you go to your service and you go home. I'm like, this is very interesting. I mean, I'm glad I did this. I wish I had done this 2 years ago when he started his. But this has been definitely a blessing in disguise, because I never would have thought that Blackwater would have something like this going on. I don't know if it was after the first time we came to church or after we became members, but he ended up coming to my house for like 3 hours, him and his wife and his kids. And we just hung out and ate and talked about this stuff, and he came in the shop and looked at the race cars, and he put a big old smile on his face. Like, he's a big old kid, but you could tell how organized this man is. It's crazy. You don't see many people like that no more. And this place is very blessed to have somebody like that, because you're not going to find many of them like that actually care about what he's doing anymore. And I don't need to go anywhere else. It didn't take but just a couple of times to see that. There was a bunch of times in the last, I'd say within that 20 years, but the last like 4 or 5 years, it's been really rough. And it was on depression medicines, and we were having a lot of issues at home, and just a lot of bad things were going on. And there's been a lot of things that I did that were very stupid that cost my family a lot. And I don't know, just you dig yourself out of those holes, and you're like, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna figure it out. And obviously this was the point where I needed to get to, because all of a sudden it's like, boom, never been in church for the last 20 years, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm in church and joining the church and enjoying everything. So, I mean, there was obviously a there's always a purpose behind everything. You go through the dark times so you can come out of it and come into go in the right directions. And obviously there was a reason why I needed to get myself out of it, for my kid. And my wife's a tough cookie. She put up with me and went through all this and still hanging in there. I put her through so much stuff. It's ridiculous, but just don't give up. Like, if you see you're in a dark place, go find some help. Come here to this church and talk to Kenan or talk to somebody. Like, don't let it keep you in the dumps. I'd let it do it for too long. Get up and go do it. You know what you gotta do. You know what's right and what's wrong. Just go do it. You know what your priorities are, what your obligations are. Just go do it. And God's gonna tell you how to get there. You just gotta listen to Him. And when you don't want to listen to Him, you're gonna be in the dumps. But as soon as you decide I gotta do the right thing, I mean, He's gonna tell you right then and there what you gotta do. And I mean, literally, that's what I said. Within a week, I was clear-headed and like, oh, what I gotta do. Here we are, probably about a year ago when I did that, and here we are. Never thought I'd be back in church, and I'm in church.